What are the 5 most exciting things to do this entire year in Vernon? I'm going to tell you, and we're starting now. I'm Lisa Salt with Remax Vernon Salt Fowler, and today we're going to look at the 5 top things to do in Vernon this year. This really encompasses the favorite things that visitors to our fair area put on the top of their list for fun stuff to do all around the North Okanagan. The first thing, and maybe this is obvious, either way, it's the first thing that comes to mind for just about everybody, and that is enjoying the beautiful Greater Vernon Lakes, of which there are 3, and all 3 of them, coincidentally, are pretty much exactly 8 minutes from downtown Vernon, all in 3 different directions. Let's start from the largest and go to the smallest. Okanagan Lake, which travels through Vernon, Kelowna, and Penticton, 84 miles or 135 kilometers long. It's 351 square kilometers large and goes north to south, spanning, like I said, from Vernon all the way to Penticton in the South Okanagan. Okanagan Lake was the main traffic source, taking mail and passengers and other goods up the lake to Kelowna and Penticton on the steamships back in the day. And you may have heard of the famous lake monster in Okanagan Lake, the Ogopogo, but don't worry, he keeps to himself. As I said, Okanagan Lake is super huge, so tons of things to do on the lake, such as swim, boating of all sorts actually, ski boats, wakeboard boats, surf boats, plus sailboats. Every Wednesday evening in the summer, there are the sailboat races on the lake, which are super fun to watch. Kayaking, windsurfers, sea-doos, paddleboards, pretty much anything you can think of to do on a lake, you can do on Okanagan Lake. It's not super crowded, really, because it's so large. Even at high season, it's, at least down at the north end, it's not. Maybe in Kelowna it is. We have actually 2 arms on the north end, as you can see here, and that gives lots of interest and room. So one fun thing you can do on the lake is take your boat all the way from Vernon to Penticton or Vernon to Kelowna. We see people do that all the time in the summer when they know there's not going to be a storm. Lots to see and do on that lake. Second lake in terms of size is Kalamalka Lake, which is also the most popular lake. Back in the 60s, National Geographic stated it was one of the top 10 most beautiful lakes in the world. It means lake of many colors. It is a marl lake, which means when the limestone heats up in the summer, it gives off these beautiful green and blue colors, just like the Caribbean. Cal Lake runs from Coldstream to Oyama, 16 kilometers long, 3 kilometers wide. Kalamalka Lake, you can do almost everything you can do on Okanagan in terms of water sports. However, you just can't go as far. Now, view-wise, if you're planning to just go and sit and look at a lake, all other things being equal, Kalamalka is the one you would want to look at, especially if it's on a beautiful summer day and the colors are performing. It's probably why there's an actual lookout on Kalamalka Lake, the Cal Lake Lookout, which is aptly named, which is on the old highway from Kelowna. So that's something you could do on a day. You can go out there, you can get some awesome views of Kalamalka Lake, or you could go up to Kalamalka Provincial Park and get some awesome views there as well. And then we also have Swan Lake, which is a more placid lake, smaller, more of a nature reserve area. It's a very pretty lake. It's much quieter. You would go there for the serenity. There's not a bunch of power boats on the lake. It's more about wildlife and dragon boats and patio boats. At the head of the lake, there's a really nice nature reserve, which is a bird watcher's paradise, I guess. That would be a fun thing to do on Swan Lake if you're visiting Vernon, or if you live here and just have never done it. There's a 1.2 mile loop that you can do and see all the wildlife and the birds and do some bird watching and photography and just hang out in the serenity. And that's only what you can do on these lakes in season. In the off season, you can ice skate on the lakes if they freeze over near the shore, or you can go to Swan Lake and do some ice fishing. It always freezes over. Number 2 on our list is to take a hike. Great hiking around these parts with all the hills and the mountains and the valleys. It makes for just awesome hiking trails. You could start by exploring the historic Grey Canal Trail, which you can also bike and horseback ride. Plus you can snowshoe it in the winter if you're so inclined. This trail actually follows the old Grey Canal irrigation line that connected Okanagan Lake to Kalamalka Lake back in the day. You can actually see the trail as horizontal lines carved right into the hillsides above the valley. There's 4 distinct sections throughout the area, and you can pick one or all of them to go and check out. Or you could go to Kalamalka Lake Provincial Park It's a true marvel, 3,218 hectares. Features a network of trails that wind through lush forests and lead to panoramic viewpoints overlooking Kalamalka Lake. Or you could make your way down to the stunning Jade and Juniper Bays with their amazing beaches. There's tons of trails for hiking and biking and horseback riding, plus there's a dog beach, which is one of Vito the Wonder Dog's favorite places. Also overlooking, or I guess beside Cal Lake, is the Rail Trail. It's not a difficult hike, it's more like a walk or a bike. There's lots of electric bikes along the Rail Trail, but I think it's worth mentioning because it's so scenic. It follows the old railway line that's no longer in service. And what makes it so special is that over 24 kilometers of the trail follows lakeshore and creeks, so the scenery and wildlife is excellent. Then in Okanagan Landing, you can find Ellison Provincial Park, which has well-used and well-maintained trails through old-growth forests, leading down to these beautiful red sandy beaches along Okanagan Lake. It's an ideal spot for a refreshing dip in the lake after a hike if you're so inclined. Then there's BX Creek and Falls Trail, where you'll end up at the spectacular BX Falls. And don't forget Silver Star Mountain Resort. It has a more challenging hiking trek. During the summer, the resort's alpine trails offer breathtaking views of the Monashee Mountains and Okanagan Valley. Then you could head up to Predator Ridge for a hike, Middleton Mountain, and there's so many others. Like, let's just say there's tons of great hiking around our area. You should do as I said before, take a hike. Make sure you subscribe to this channel and like this videos. We're posting new videos like this every single week. On this channel, we give you the straight goods on Vernon and the whole Okanagan, our ultimate Four Seasons paradise. Whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, or just curious about the area that we call home, be sure to call, text, or email and just add salt. Number 3, go to Sparkling Hills. This is a treat, an absolutely luxurious retreat and stunning resort. Sparkling Hills is renowned for its spectacular views and its healing spa treatments and all these world-class amenities. It's really the resort's modern design and stunning architecture that makes it such a popular destination for travelers looking for a rejuvenating vacation. Now, if you're a local, unfortunately, you can't book at the spa. It's for guests only and owners at Predator Ridge. However, there are 2 fabulous restaurants plus a fancy little kind of coffee place that's worth visiting. The one restaurant, it's called Gurney's Farmhouse, which they actually deconstructed in Austria and brought it over in 6 40-foot containers and then reconstructed the whole thing on the Sparkling Hill property. That building dated back to the year 1415. The biggest feature here at Sparkling Hill, like I say, is the views. They're absolutely breathtaking, as you can see. And then inside the resort, they have a heated infinity pool. They've got an inside pool, hot tub, fitness center, and of course the spa, which has everything that spas offer and then some. And if you're a guest at the hotel, you have access to all the steam rooms and the saunas and the pools, etc., for free included in your stay. Saying that, even if you're not staying here, it's worth a trip up to see the incredible views. Eat at maybe one of these restaurants, or you can also hike around. There's some trails around here as well. Plus, you're right next to Predator Ridge that has a ton of trails. Number 4 on our list, go golfing. The golf courses open up sometime in mid-March usually and go right until the end of October, so there's lots of time to check out the courses. Vernon may not have a ton of golf courses, however, the ones we have are really, really nice. Starting with the easiest, there's Hillview Golf Course, which is an 18-hole executive golf course, Vernon's only 18-hole executive golf course, actually. Then there's Spell Machine Golf and Country Club with an 18-hole championship course, as well as a 9-hole executive course, which is located just across from the historic O'Keefe Ranch, just outside of Vernon in Spell Machine. Then we have Vernon Golf and Country Club, an 18-hole championship course, and it's a cool course with all its Lombardy poplars. You can look at them, or you can most likely hit them with your ball to make it more challenging. And there's a creek through the course. It's nice. It was constructed, I think, in 1913. And those 3 courses are pretty much on the flats, but the next 2 are up overlooking Okanagan Lake. If you really want some scenic golfing, how about the Rise or Predator Ridge? The Rise is high. It's on the edge of Vernon and 1,000 feet above the lake. Golf course is carved into the mountain, and this one is a challenge for sure. However, the views and the wildlife sightings are totally worth it. Then last but definitely not least is Predator Ridge Golf Resort, which is a true resort type of atmosphere, and they are currently building out more and more homes around the course. So there's the Predator course, which is an 18-hole link-style course set in those rolling mounds and hills with an extensive use of fescue. And then the second, the newer course, is the Ridge course, and it has beautiful views of Okanagan Lake and some really big elevation changes. Some great golf courses in Vernon, and if you're around in season and wondering what to do one day, definitely hit one or more of these courses around the area. You won't be disappointed. Number 5, if it's winter and you can't golf, how about hit the slopes? Go to Silver Star Mountain Resort, which is the 3rd largest ski resort in BC. You can downhill ski here, you can cross country, snowboard, snowshoe, skate, tube, or you can go bowling if you want to. Or eat. There's some great restaurants and pubs up there. And actually, if you're here in the summer, still go to Silver Star because you can bike, you can hike, you can go for a gondola ride. It's fun up there. Silver Star has its own little village, and if you haven't been up there, you really should, whether you ski or not. It's just a magical place. It's like the North Pole or something in the winter if the North Pole had pubs and restaurants and bars and shopping, I guess. Maybe it's like a mini Disneyland for skiers and snowboarders. It is so colorful and fun up there. What's so great about Silver Star, you say? Well, I am glad you asked. It's not just skiing or any of those activities I've already mentioned. They have events constantly, all year round. You can go on a dinner tour. You can go on a guided mountain tour. There's wine events. You can snowmobile on the trails. There's all sorts of fun up there. For the skiers, the backside of the mountain has a huge variety of challenging terrain, so make sure you check out Silver Star. Maybe, in fact, what you could do, I have a great idea. You could come in the spring, and then you can go spring skiing in the morning, and then you can golf in the afternoon. You could strike 2 of the 5 things off the list in one single day. Vernon is amazing. We are fortunate to live here, and I was very fortunate to grow up here. If you're considering a move to the Okanagan, be sure to visit VernonRelocation.com and sign up for our free Vernon relocation package.